أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers in Islam. In this video, I will give my contribution to a video under Q&I regarding the clarification whether you can criticize rulers openly or not. So it's a very interesting 54 minutes video by Ustaz Abdul Aziz Al-Haqqan. I think it's around 36 years old, well read in Arab, but we are not Arabic is not my mother's tongue, but I'm a Muslim, and I think nobody will deter me, but you can refuse to accept my level of education, but definitely I am to scale, to race with Abu Bakr and Umar ibn Khattab in understanding Islam and obey Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His comments very, very relevant and fantastic. And it is the situation the Muslim Ummah is actually facing. They are not educated, they don't read. They are impatient. And I am sorry to say that scientists are in a better position, or are the best to understand Islam, because Islam is built on scientific facts, logic, reasoning, evaluation, deductions. But the question is, what is the essence of making this type of question? That you are ruler. Who's your ruler? Arab? Rabb al-Alameen? So how can you criticize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If you blame Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have the definite example in the Battle of Uhud. أَنَّ هَذَا كُلُّهُ مِنْ عِنْدِ أَنفُسِكُمْ. You caused your own defeat, not me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You refuse to obey Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Under what? Under ta'wil. Was the command given by him what? Flimsy or shadowy? Clear cut. Even if you see vultures eating our bodies, don't descend until I give you order. But what did they do? Maybe that, unfortunately, Sahaba did not hear that expressed command. So, my brothers, la ikraha fi din. There's no compulsion in Islam. Ad-din, accountability. Definitely, the right conduct has been explained. So why should we bring this question of criticizing a leader openly? At what level of the criticism? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam explained, warned us, that if we live according to the first 34 years after the Hijrah, that is the best period of enjoyment, respect, obedience. We shall have our activities will be accrued in that period again. Nothing else. So in that period, 1 to 34 years after Hijrah, we want to know specific examples where Rasulullah in the first 10 years was criticized openly, then in the next 24 years by his Sahabas. What is it in Medina? The respect, not allowing the Muslim Ummah to suffer. We have to understand this. Then let us follow the sequence of events. The first, the Battle of Badr. They asked Rasulullah sallallahu or advised him, oh, let us go to the highland. Because if there is rain, we shall be able to have a firm base. And let us go and hold the well of Badr. So what is this? The next episode, the Battle of Ahzab. Let us dig trench. So what are we after? Please. We should not try to forget the basics. That every example and the lesson has been given to us. So what are we after? And we cannot again take that period of training, because things must happen before there is rule and prohibition. So you cannot take the actions of the Sahabas, that is cause, in order to, that necessitates a Sharia is an example. No. So I don't understand the way we look at things in order to maintain the dignity of that particular period. So now what happened again? In the first day, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam left the world. What happened before he was buried? There are so many, well, let's say disagreements. They wanted to know the truth. They were asking the only person, Abu Bakr Siddiq, I think 6 or 7 questions. Who disagreed with him? Now, after the burial, the expedition to Mu'tah had to conclude. They asked him, why should you make this small boy, 22 years old or 24 years old, as our leader? He said, that is the command of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They didn't like him. What was their reasoning? Definitely there were more experienced Sahabas. But he said, no, that is the command. So what are you telling us? If through your adventure you fail to establish the caliphate, it is not established and it is not part of the intent of creating us. And that should be the tat amalihi. That is what we should actually answer our questions. Why is it that we don't have a Khalifa? Everything is through mischief, governance, and inheritance. While Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in relation to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, says, لا ينال أحد الظالمين ومن ذريته قال لا ينال أحد الظالمين. There's nothing like inheritance. But look at you Arabs. So the question of negating anything which is not according to the Sunnah is simply because if you do it, you are doing it on yourself. So don't cheat yourself, don't harm yourself. But this question shall never arise. And the Ummah is not allowed to see wrong and they keep quiet. It's not allowed. And the best example is during obligatory prayers. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Abu Bakr, Umar, they never see wrong, mistakes. Then they keep quiet. What of the lady during the khutbah, Friday prayers? She raised objection to Umar ibn Khattab, saying, trying to limit the dowry. What of after everybody got his own part of the linen, they saw Umar ibn Khattab was a gown from what was distributed. Why did he get the rest? They challenged him. Why did we get the material to make your dress? We could not make it. So what are we please trying to get across? What we are trying to get across is just a proof on our misunderstanding or whatever it is that we have failed to establish the caliphate. The caliphate is the teaching of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The practical lessons, the sending of messengers and the prophets, and their victories, and the success only after establishing and obeying them. Now, the question is, what is our class? We have 3 classes. Or I say we have 4 classes. We have those definitely who will enter paradise, but I don't know their number. Because how many of us are observing the obligatory prayers according to the Sunnah? How many of us are actually performing the fasting for the month of Ramadan according to the Sunnah? On top of that, the episodes of the caliphate. So now it's a matter of that the hadith of Mu'adh ibn Jabal and the others. Huzaifa, get it, stay in your house. Leave them, don't join the crowd. So, we are either kafirs, hypocrites, and the innovators. Now, a kafir is a better situation because anytime you understand on your own effort the Sunnah, you follow it, Allah will forgive you. Let us stop using the word kufr or takfiri. No. Takfiri is simple. Misunderstanding, you are misled, as we are being misled in the 2 holy mosques. Every prayer is a misleading. It's an innovation. I came out of Masjid al-Haram, Kaaba, in 1983, simply because the Imam recited Surah Al-Kafirun. I thought it is an insult in the first rak'ah. So I said, look, I don't like it. 1983, I haven't started reading the Sunnah in Arabic language. I was just relying on the translations, Bukhari, Muslim, and the Mishkat. But there is no explanation. As he said, Arabic is not as simple. You must know a lot of things to understand. So look at this. But what is happening today is worse than 1983. Because Al-Kafirun is a complete surah. But what are they doing today? Dissecting, chopping, chipping. Is it allowed? Nobody is talking of that. So, the main problem is if we are hypocrites and innovators, I don't know what will happen. But only I remind you, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ حَقَّتْ عَلَيْهِمْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ وَلَوْ جَاءَتْهُمْ كُلُّ آيَةٍ حَتَّى يَرَوْا الْعَذَابَ الْأَلِيمَ. So definitely this is the fate of the Muslim Ummah today. Those who will enter paradise are extremely low. The kufrs, yes, virtually, but let them use the opportunity to read on their own, because there's too much confusion in Islam and the Muslim Ummah today. Now, the hypocrites and the innovators, they have no way out. Because it has been explained clearly that innovators will never swim across the tide. They will be ever sinking until they reach the bottom of the ocean. So in brief, what I'm saying is that the question should not arise that is it allowed to criticize or correct a leader openly. It doesn't arise at all in a Muslim Ummah. Let us distinguish let us understand that if you see a mistake in a masjid, you don't leave. They never allowed Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam to go to his house and then correct him. Immediately he says, Assalamu alaikum, Ya Rasulullah. What happened? Did you recite this verse? You have forgotten. So what is it? Is there something more dramatic than Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying to the Sahabas, I came to observe Fajr prayer with impurity. He went back and performed washing the body, he cleaned himself and then performed ablution. He came and led the prayer. Likewise, other Sahabas, I think Umar ibn Khattab or somebody of that nature, they also told us that the man with the Kitab al-Haraj, Qadi Yusuf, also did the same thing. So please let us stop unnecessary comments due to lack of opportunity, COVID-19, and other things. I hope I will be understood. Assalamu alaikum.